prayer, followed by pledge of allegiance. If anyone in here would like to speak, no public comment this time. Public comments are closed. Okay, recognition. Ms. Gwen, you have anything? Recognition, you have anything? Recognition, do you have anything? No. Scope? Yeah. Rick?
No, sir.
Recognition is closed. Okay. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, second by Rick. All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Motion carried. Need a motion for to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
7. Who made it? Oh,
Made it.
motion made by Rose. Who second? Have a second by Ms. Gwen. All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, carried unanimous. Next on the item discussion, reclassification of finance direction position, Ms. Pass.
Sorry about that. First time being up here. Good evening, commissioners.
Good evening.
It's my pleasure to come before you and present this item. I know it's been with you, before you a couple of times, and that is reclassification of the finance officer position within the county. Next slide. So I always like to start with what problem are we trying to solve? We have a solution, which is to reclassify the finance officer, but why do we need to do that? And so that's what I tried to demonstrate. As you know, we're behind on our audit. We were 2 years behind until Johnny Sharp came. We may face some payback situations. We may have to return grant money, that kind of thing, when our finances are not in order. We've paid over $425,000 to Greg Isley with the Isley Group for outside financial assistance since February of 2022. The cost of our audit has increased $20,000 because of the challenges that we've had. Jonna has worked almost a 0.6 FTE on our finances since she came to the county. We're very fortunate that she is being paid for by the Association of County Commissioners. She is invaluable. And then when I talked with Amy Cannon, Lance Metzler, Cathy in Person County, Melissa Cardinelli at the Association of County Commissioners, there were some themes that came back repeatedly. One is the finance officer is the second most important position in the county after the manager. And one person even said finance officers will be paid as much as managers. And why is that? Next slide. So the supply is just not there. The Association of International CPAs reports that 75% of CPAs will retire in the next 15 years. Bloomberg reports that there are currently 340,000 fewer accountants today than there were 5 years ago. Now, that is a startling statistic to me. People are not going into the accounting field. I included the stats on bachelor and master's degrees and the declines that are being seen there. So there just isn't the supply that there once was. It's kind of odd to me because it used to be deemed as such a good profession to go into, you know, being a CPA, but they have people, you know, kids coming out of school have a lot of options these days they didn't have back in the day when I went through school. And they also have that barrier of taking the CPA exam, which I think is a deterrent to a lot of folks doing it. What is on the other side of the coin, what is the demand? So 91% of CPA firms in the US reported that they were going to hire the same number or an increased number of CPAs in 2023. Person County's hiring range, what you see on the slide, is significantly higher than our current range and what we're asking for tonight. They've gone through 2 recruitment processes and still do not have a permanent finance officer. Rockingham County, you see their hiring range. They had a 4-month period, which Mr. Metzler thought was a long period of time for them in recruiting. And they hired someone from the city of Martinsville, Virginia. There are currently 10 finance officer positions being advertised across the state. The closest is in Stokes County, and their hiring range also is higher than ours, what we currently are paying and what we propose to pay. Next slide. So the most recent pay and class study that we did, I think in 21, classified the finance officer on grade 78. There are 81 grades for county positions below the manager. So that means there are 3 grades higher that this position could be moved to. And given the importance of the position, I think that that's warranted. I am accustomed to the finance officer being paid at one of the highest levels in the organization. And you can see that comparisons with surrounding counties, counties our size, and counties with similar property tax bases are all higher than even what we're asking for tonight. So I want to address the fiscal impact. If you increase the salary and we hire somebody at the maximum salary, we will still save money because we will not be paying the Isley Group. And if we had to replace Jonna out of our pocket, that would be a tremendous expense. So we're paying the Isley Group, I told you, over $425,000 since they came into the county. And in the current year, we budgeted $85,000. In your packets, next slide, you see a side-by-side comparison of the existing job against what we're proposing. I think that the new job emphasizes some important things. One is accounting competence. That it really is the basis for the position. The second is their ability to deal with issues on an organizational wide level. They are not just the finance director. They are the finance person who oversees all finances in the county. They're responsible for making sure the audit's on time, making sure we have budget compliance and accurate state and federal reporting. All those things are essential. And it also requires 6 years of more than 6 years of progressively responsible experience. Second to last slide. Actually, there are 3 more slides. Recommendation is to approve the new job description that you have in your packet and increase the hiring grade and salary range from grade 78 to grade 81. Next slide. I can't guarantee you this will be enough. I think recruitment may be somewhat difficult because you have me here as an interim and you don't have a permanent manager. And just what we've seen with our neighbor to the east, they had a significantly higher pay range and yet they still don't have a permanent person. So we've got a plan A, a plan B, and so forth. The first is if you approve our recommendation tonight, we will immediately advertise the position in all of the professional organizations where finance officers can be recruited in the state and also in the state of Virginia, since we're if recruitment is not successful, then we'll come back to the board and see if you want to look at increasing the salary even higher. If that doesn't work, then we've talked, John and I are becoming creative because this truly is a statewide crisis. This is not a Caswell County crisis. This truly is a statewide crisis. And we're gonna have to be creative to find a statewide solution. So we may look at things like sharing a finance officer with another county or contracting for a finance officer to oversee everything. So those are still options on the table, but we want to give it our best shot in trying to recruit somebody at this higher salary. I'm happy to answer questions.
One question I have, you said that, I guess upon filling this finance position, the Isley Group goes away.
If we get a qualified person.
Okay, so qualified person, then we stop paying that group for that amount of money. Is there anything in the contract that says that they have, anything's guaranteed through the whole fiscal year, or does it just, when we're done, we're done?
Good evening. I'll take that. We have significantly scaled back Isley already. Right now, there is very little that they're doing for us. And there is no expectation that they go to the end of the fiscal year. They go until we're not giving them any work anymore. And they know that we are in the process of bringing everything we can back in-house, because honestly, that's the only way staff is going to learn how to do it. And I'm not sure if Renee's shared with you, but we have been successful in hiring a new accounting specialist, which is going to give us a lot of capacity to do some of the work, or a good bit of the work, that the Isley Group had been doing. The biggest thing they had been working on for us recently was the bank reconciliations. And for 2024, we are going to try and bring those in and do those in-house.
Okay. You, excuse me, you did say we did budget 85,000 this year for those.
Right, but certainly our hope is that we won't need all of that.
And this is the reason why.
Do we know how much we have spent so far?
We've probably spent maybe somewhere between 20 and 30,000 probably so far. Maybe not that much, but that's the most we spent, and their bills are dropping off pretty dramatically right now.
Thank you.
Anyone else on the board have a question?
When you're advertising this, us being such a smaller county with less budget, does that help any with that, or the bottom line, just the
I'm sorry.
salary?
Generally, people in the profession are interested in making the most money that they can. Somebody, depending on their personal circumstances, may find this environment more appealing than a larger place that pays more. I think that is possible. But there are no guarantees.
I have to say, I agree with you. I don't think.
I'm sorry.
I don't plan B is that you still high enough to get what you need.
Anyone else?
There is, I'm sorry, I don't, I just had a thought. There is room between grade 81 and the manager's salary grade. So we could raise the salary above grade 81.
Just a question, Renee, and you might not know. I know person you said is offering a much higher salary and still doesn't have a candidate. What's person's budget? Do you know?
Not off, I know their population is close to twice as
Yeah.
much as us.
Okay. So the recommended increase in salary is on the low end, my math is correct, about 8,500, and on the high end, about 12,500. Just figuring off the
That
top of my
is
head.
correct. Yeah, I
Okay.
ran those numbers.
All right. Well, I don't think it's a number that we can't do. I think we can do that. But, and I think if I heard Commissioner Holt right, is that going to be enough? Or do we just try it and see?
We're willing to try and see. We may be back to you. It just depends.
I guess one question I have is, say we advertise it, we get some qualified candidates that actually look at it. I guess there can be some negotiation there. If somebody's serious, they could be brought to us and say, this is what, who we have, this is the qualifications, but this is kind of what they're looking at. And it depends on if we can do it or not, but I do agree with you. This is an extremely vital position, and we need the right person there. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I agree wholeheartedly if we can get them at that point, but even if we have to negotiate and go a little higher, I think it would be well worth it.
Sure.
You know, you could put in the job advertisement, salary dependent upon qualifications. But if you don't have some maximum, you're going to get a lot of applications for people who would not be willing to accept the salary that you're willing to offer. So you could open it up a little bit, but then you're just going to get people to apply who at the end of the day won't even consider it. One thing we may want to consider is do maybe the first review within a very short period of time, so that if people work to a deadline, typically people aren't going to apply until the last minute, but at least you could put in the job announcement that there'd be a first review as of this date. And if we don't have many qualified applicants or any, then we could come back with that information and possibly go ahead and consider a change to the salary if we get early indications that is not going to be sufficient. So we don't wait 4 weeks and then know that there's no one qualified in the bunch.
What kind of time frame are you thinking?
I mean, I would say get it out and give people, a couple of weeks to do that first look and see what we get.
Okay.
I think we need a motion to give her the okay to advertise.
I'll make a motion.
Who made the motion? You?
The motion,
I'll make a motion.
will you make a motion on, state what it is? Just for clarification.
Make a motion that we have the county manager advertise that position at the grade, I think it was 82,
81.
81.
81. Okay.
That's
So I think we've settled on finance officer.
Did he get a second?
Second.
She
Just a
said,
second. Y'all heard the motion. Are you ready to vote? All in favor of the motion, saying aye.
Uh,
All opposed? Carried unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda be Board of Committees appointment, Ms. Patterson.
Carla's provided a sheet for you with the appointments listed. I'll just go through it very briefly. On the ABC board, we have 2 vacancies. 3 folks have applied. You need to appoint 2. For the Board of Health, we have 1 vacancy. 1 person has applied. Casual Adult Advisory Committee, we have 1 vacancy. 1 person has applied. On JCPC, Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, we have 4 vacancies. We've received only 1 application. And on the Senior Center Advisory Board, we have 1 vacancy and we've received 1 application.
So do you want to vote on them all at one time or just go by? Okay, okay, so the first vote's got Graham Daly and Wayne Barker.
Mr. Chairman, I move we reappoint Graham Dale and Wayne Barker to the ABC Board.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I would appoint, make a motion to appoint Randy Poole.
I ain't hearing it. Get that phone.
I would like to make a motion to appoint Randy Poole.
Randy Poole, okay. Any more? All right, so we got Graham Daly and Wayne Barker first and got Wayne Poole, so we'll just go with Wayne Poole since he's the last one. All in favor of Wayne Poole going to the ABC vote, raise your hand. Wayne Poole, we started there first.
Ain't Wayne, Randy.
Randy Poole,
Who?
Randy Poole.
Oh, Reagan Poole, yeah. And we'll start there first. Raise your hand who want to vote for him. Go on there. Okay. So 2 votes for him. Next on the agenda be Graham Daly and Wayne Barker. Raise your hand for them. So you didn't raise your hand. Oh, thank you then. I see it. So Graham Daly and Wayne Barker gets it. We move on. Take the next one. Current member, well, we only got 1 on that applied.
Mr. Chairman, in the interest of time, since there's only 1 that's applied for each position on the rest of these boards, I move they all be appointed, the ones that applied.
Second. I'll second.
Okay. Moving proper second, all in favor saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, carried unanimous. Okay, Castle County Adults Advisor Council, that's Sinkin Perkin, that's only 1 to apply there.
Yeah, the motion was to cover all of those.
We cover all of them.
Okay, good. That's good. Let's finish up that then. Thank you. Okay. On the agenda, county manager update.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do want to call your attention to the emails that I've been sending regarding, I've been sending a list of items of information at the end of every week. Just want to mention a few things. Regarding outside attorney fees, Melissa Miller has verified that the invoice for Carolina Sunrock case can be paid from the 23-24 last year's budget, which is still open. In the 24-25 budget, we have a total of $15,000 budgeted for outside counsel, $8,000 of which is still available to pay attorney fees, and the animal control case is estimated at $4,000, so we can cover that from the budget. The elevator work will start at the new courthouse November 16th through the 19th. There was in the items of information that went out on October 7th, a needs-based grant for schools. That did not come to the board for approval, so I wanted you to be aware of it. The application is for $10 million and change to replace the HVAC system at Oakwood Elementary. The application, or if awarded the grant, it would require a county match of $539,135. I have reached out to the superintendent for more information. This was sent 2 weeks ago. I've spent a good deal of my time getting to know the county employees of Caswell County. And without exception, I'm impressed by what I see. These folks are hardworking, they're committed, they're not paid as much as their colleagues in some other counties, but they are doing the same work of their other colleagues. And I just want to commend our employees. We have a great team. They work together like I have never seen in any other place. Regarding the week of October 14th, I don't think there's anything that I need to update you on regarding that. Thank you.
Okay, any board have any questions, Ms. Pass? Okay, we'll move on. Thank you. County Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I just wanted to give you all a brief.
So we promised expenditure reports. We promised financial reports, but revenues are not in good enough order at this point to be able to give you revenues. So we do have expenditure reports, and I'll just pass those out.
Thank you.
And we are open to your feedback if there's other things that you want to see in this report.
That's all you have, Ms. Bass?
Pardon?
That's all you have,
Yes, I'm sorry, Russell.
Mr. Turner?
No problem. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So just briefly, I wanted to update the board on the delinquent tax collection process. We do have 3 tax foreclosure sales scheduled for this Friday at 12 p.m. at the courthouse. And Mr. Chairman, if I may approach, I wanted to hand out copies of the sales so you could have these for your records.
Okay, thank you.
And members of the board, so these sales have been posted at the courthouse, and they're also advertised in the Caswell Messenger, which is a state statute. And I'll keep you all posted as of the sales, and I'll have further updates for you in our closed session. Thank you.
That's all you have? Okay. No one had no question for the board. Okay, thank you. Commission comments? Mr. Rhodes, started you?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I had the privilege to attend the Providence Fire Department, had their grand opening for their substation on October the 14th. I'd just like to commend all of the firemen on their hard work and dedication. They've got a really nice substation over there, and it should cut down a huge amount on response times where it's located. And I just wanted to thank all of them that were involved. That's all I have.
Right there. Rick. Well, you got to say?
Yes, did you skip me? I wanted to say,
Kind of talk in the mic so we
Listen.
can hear.
Melissa and I worked at the Med giveaway. I think it went really well. We had quite a few people that really picked up a lot of medicine. And the other thing I want to report on, and we'll really get into that maybe after the election. PTRC wants to put on 2 more delegates from Caswell County, and we will have more voting power. And I'm thinking, and they mentioned it may be good to wait until after the election because we don't know who will be here, but that would be something that we would need to take up at least in January or February.
All right, we'll move on. Then nothing else. Upcoming events, October 28, 2024, Castle County, Kansas Trail from 3 to 5 p.m. in Yanceyville. November the 4th, 2024, the Board of Commission meeting at 6:30 at the Historic Courthouse. And November the 11th, county office closed for Veterans Day. November the 18th, 2024, the Board of Commission meet at 6:30 at the Historic Courthouse. November the 21st, joint meeting with the town of Yanceyville and Muzzle Building. That's on the, let me make sure we're right here, on the 21st at 6 o'clock. And November the 28th and 29th, 2024, county office closed for Thanksgiving. We need a motion to go into closed session.
So move.
Motion made by Ms. Gwynn, second by Ms. Hope. All in favor saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Now sets in closed session.
Hmm.